Alright, and we're live. I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow, but if I do, then it probably either might be I get back onto Horizon Walker again, make more progress on Chapter 3, or something else. But yeah, back to just grinding and Planet Crafter Terraforming Prime again. I do want to focus more on the shipwrecks. Let's see, that won't be unlocked until 2 GTI, so that'll be for a while. The oxygen I'm already on my way to unlocking the tier 2 tree spreader, and then the rest. Tier 2 ore. So pretty much everything's in progress right now. So checked action time, and then it was just another repeat event that I played last year. So I'm not going to be streaming that since I've already played the event last year. And then the season that I'm doing right now, I'm only doing new events specifically. So I'm pretty much gonna have to wait till February to see what new events they bring. Unless it's another repeat event, then I'll just be waiting till they release a new event. But they'll most likely have new events in line for February. Probably like a brand new Valentine's event. Okay, right. This giant shipwreck. try it this way. Planet Crafter. Basically, transform a planet into a new Earth and make it hospitable to live in. Pretty much like a survival game where you transform a planet into a new Earth. Build bases and all that stuff. And right now I'm just exploring this giant shipwreck. And you also get to terraform other planets after you finish terraforming the one that you get that you're put into. If you want to know how long I've been playing this game for, I played it when its demo was originally released back in 2021. Was it 2020? Well, around 2021, that's when I started playing the game's demo for the first time. About 5 years ago. Well, almost 5 years ago, actually. Around the time when I got my desktop. The very desktop that I'm currently using to stream right now. And then pretty much I discovered Planet Crafter. Been enjoying the demo I've been enjoying the demo to the point where I've actually beaten it. both on stream and then off stream. And then after that, it just pretty much finished with the game until like around 2024. That's when I heard that the game was getting a 1.0 release, or that the devs have announced a 1.0 release for the game. But it took me until 2025 to finally play the full version of the game. Around the time when after they released the free DLC. So like put it around, let's say August, September. It's like a few months back. And ever since, I've been enjoying the full version of the game. And around when I started playing the full version, one paid DLC was already released before Toxicity was released, which is the second and new DLC for the game right now. Same with Food Wagon, although that game started out as a demo in 2025, and after 9 months, it finally demo came out in March, so 6 months later, for Food Wagon, it entered early access. Still some bugs in between, but the devs are working on patching those bugs more or less every month. So we still have a lot of work to do. And then same with Planet Crafter, they're also patching bugs for this game, while also releasing like new content. Although their updates are like every few months, but at least they're nicely detailed. And then from their latest post, they did mention that they do have plans to continue developing the game. Of course, they haven't told us exactly what they're gonna do, but I guess that we'll just have to wait and see. If you want to know how far I've gotten into the game, if you consider my personal world, I just about unlocked everything within the base game itself without getting the DLC, or without getting the DLCs. And then the only DLC that I'm playing is the free one that they already have in the game, of the 2 planets. Pretty much in my personal save, I'm already at the end game content, in which I'm down to 1 more planet to terraform, and then unlocking a few more things that I can craft, and I'm practically all done with the base game. I'd recommend this game if you like to build bases and go looting. Uh, no no shooting apart from using your tool here to shoot at items to destroy and stuff. And at times it can get pretty tedious. But I've played Minecraft, so I'm used to it, so. I still do want to get back to my vanilla world streaming again later on. Or later on during the year. In which I am very behind on everything at this rate. For wondering what my character looks like right now. Best that I can describe this game, it's basically like Satisfactory, but except you're not building factories per se, you're essentially just trying to turn the planet into a hospitable place. And then most of the crafting is easily done via automation. Once you get to the later part of the game. Since this is a space game, I mean, eventually there will be much faster ways of transit once you get to like the later stages of the game. pretty much, basically, there will be faster ways to get to point A and to get from point A to point B, and eventually. Which is planet-wide. In other words, there's teleporters in the game, so... Or, there's teleportation in the game, so... Pretty sure you can piece it together. And of all the space games that I've ever come to know, just Planet Crafter's been like the only one that I've genuinely been playing the most. And I don't even play a lot of space-related games. Well, besides Deep Rock Galactic, but that's a whole different game on its own. Pretty much like I guess pretty much this and Deep Rock Galactic are like the only space age kind of games that I play. Everything else doesn't really get my attention as much since it's just basically like a copper version of StarCraft or something. Or like a carbon copy of StarCraft, essentially. In which most of the space age kind of games tend to copy from. Basically, StarCraft walked so that all the other space age games can run. Is essentially my point. Fresh orange soup, straight from the source. But that shit stings. And I just made a circle, okay. So I've now backtracked. Okay, so that part of the ship is now explored. Now I get to grow some trees. Further boosting oxygen in the process. There's not that much anyway. There's my air filter. which means trees can now be grown now that I've unlocked that tree spreader. Pretty much, yep. As our resident planet crafter veteran comes into the scene. How you doing, Hellgast? I take it that you've prepared for the worst. Yeah, I can imagine how much of a nightmare it is to have way too thick of a layer of snow. Simply driving through ice is already bad enough, and then, black ice, I guess that's worse. I was gonna ask you, like, how long does your winter period, last for? Helgast. Ooh, tier 4 might speed. That's what I need right now. And I can do that. Yeah, let's do that. Just pretty much making it feel more like a long winter. Or longer than expected winter. And now I can mine faster. Okay, so that's now unlocked. And this is now unlocked. Time to grow some trees, I guess. If I've got the stuff, which I should. And right for more, well, these have to be placed on water for it to work. Tier 2 ones don't have to, I can just put them anywhere. Let's see, as for the tree to grow. Since I got you here, which of these do you want me to try to use? The Lenifolio or the Itera? Which one looks more appealing to you? The Lenifolio? Well, these two are, since they got like the little tree icon underneath. How about... I remember using this in my personal save, so I'm gonna go with this one. Notaria. It's probably one of the higher tier oxygen trees. could put it on a lake, but I want to put it somewhere where it doesn't have to be sticking out of the lake. Oh, there's trees already. And now we'll have trees. If there wasn't already. Okay, cap tier 2. So I need, no. Yeah, I need to upgrade to tier 3 now. Rock materials. Okay, now I can start fitting more items. Methane. And we're inhaling this stuff in which you're not supposed to in real life. But I guess it works differently on a planet that has no oxygen yet. Because in real life this stuff's pretty toxic. Alright, now I use oxygen more efficiently. Guess I will upgrade to the tier 2 rig. Just so I have a higher yield of materials. And since I got the room here, might as well build it here. Don't think I'm gonna be using that for quite a while. Not until I get the better storage. Because it looks like bees, I'll be focusing on that next. Which is where insects come in. Hardly even go through here with my buggy anyway, so might as well close it up and free up the space here. So now that's set up for 4 more nuclear generators. Until I unlock fusion power, then that will have to change. Which will be soon. Only problem is, I need this. And without this, I can't craft. No. Oh no, I take that back. What was it? Certain crystal. It was the pink crystal, I forgot the name. And then another material to craft this. Pulsar, there we go. It was the pulsar crystals, and then another item, I believe it was super alloy. Can't remember right now for some reason. Wasn't titanium. I think it was super alloy. And it's that high. Thought to be much taller than that in comparison to the later models. 8% growth, which is very slow. Can't do that yet because I've yet to launch that one rocket that I've unlocked into space. An idea for like an end goal prime base, like tear down the base that I currently have and rebuild it into a Japanese style temple, but in a space base form. So it'd be more, or in a way it's basically what I want to build is like a Japanese space temple of sorts. Pretty much like the Japanese buildings, but in the way how you build your base in this game. Which will mainly just look like a giant block. And then you're just all you're missing is the arched roof of like the Japanese buildings. Tier 3 agility boots. Even faster walking speed. Which I do have the items to make it. Now I'm just a little bit faster. And once again, the gathering of my audience, both new and old, and semi-new. So I guess it's back to getting more uranium again. Until I have the final version of the mining rig. Start to rely on getting uranium through asteroids. This, on the other hand, I also need to launch if I want to see the map without having to go back to my base. One day when I'm launching a bunch of rockets into space, I'll show off the little glitch live. Someday. And let the sun kiss me. I do need to explore beyond there next. And by now there's already an oasis now that trees have grown. Oh shit. Oh. Well, if I didn't get the achievement, that way was the best way to get it. Just going out there is a suicide when it's a meteorite shower. You only know you get the achievement as if you just don't care and go out during the meteorite shower. And to the desert we go. Well, one of a few deserts on the planet. But this one specifically would be the Great Desert, ironically. Since there's also a Great Desert on the other side. A little bit of lag because I'm just barely exploring this area in this save for the first time. It would just be a pain to traverse with my buggy here, so I'll just go flying. And here we are, Crystal Cove, which is a Scooby-Doo reference if you watched Mystery Incorporated. Okay, there's more. I probably might have missed this location in my personal save. I'm sure that there's someone out there that did a challenge of this game where they terraformed the planet, but they only and strictly used the basic tier 1 items, and they cannot advance with anything else unless if necessary. I'm pretty sure a challenge like that already exists somewhere. I see microchip, I see unlockable item. Okay. Definitely do need that. Do I have the materials? No, surely I should. Just need to make another one of that. all the iridium I could ever want. This will last me a good while. Rainbow caverns. You're not talking about the crystal ones, right? You're not talking about the quartz one, right? What, like just now? For the most part, yeah, but I haven't explored all the spots in this save yet. In which that yellow one I just went into that. I haven't picked any of it yet because my inventory was full. I'm aware. I mean, I pretty much got the personal world to prove, to let me know that they don't regenerate unless you build that giant portal where it takes you to another part of the planet to get more of those crystals. But yeah, don't worry. Okay, what I do need to build more of is rocket engines. Got these, so might as well put them to good use. For now, at least those crystals are temporary until you're able to produce almost all of them, except for one in which you have to find through a distant part of the planet. Yeah, pretty much when you're starting off playing the game and you find those crystals, like, you initially think, oh, there probably might be more, but then you realize once you use them all and then go back, they do not regenerate. Which was my initial first thoughts when I first went into those caves in my personal save, thinking that they might regenerate, but they don't. But then later on, as I got to like the late parts of the game, which I eventually discovered that I can reproduce them, but just not all of them. As I mentioned, yeah, there was that one crystal, the magnetar, that cannot be mass-produced when you get to the very late part of the game, or when you get to the end game. There's only one problem with this. I can't make bees right now. Until I unlock the incubator, only then I can start making bees. So it's nice that I have it, but can't do much with it until I have the ability to create bees. And to make bees, I need larvae, which doesn't exist on the planet yet. So, still waiting then. Oh, okay, I don't have the... What am I doing? I don't have the map ship yet. What I do have now is where each of the ores are located. Which, right now for me wouldn't matter much until I unlock the tier 3 mining rig. But at least it's nice to know where they are once I finally start mining. 5 GTI, that's when I can start using the incubator. So I'm just gonna be waiting then. That's going down, which means the planet's already close to having 100% oxygen. Okay, so this is done. All that's left are the computer chips. I've already got mass production going in my personal save, so then a question for you, Hellgas. What would be the best ratio of mining rigs to storage chests? Or mining rigs to tier 2 storage chests? Like 1-to-1, or what would be like the ideal ratio? Having more rigs to then fill a few storage containers, or just have 1 rig to 1 container. Like let's just say for 1 ore specifically. Okay, speed. Unlimited oxygen. 1-to-1 to get drones. Can I have unlimited oxygen? Yes, I can. And now finally my rover is my new saving grace for oxygen. Main reserves transport once you get the drones, it'll be filling your chest for you, but manual filling takes time. Of course. So then, once you get the drones, it wouldn't matter if you're doing like a 1-to-1 ratio with the rigs to the storage anymore. Since the drones would already do that job at twice or 3 times the speed. And then eventually getting better versions of them. The 3-to-1 ratio becomes better as you will be using the resource faster. Pretty much, yeah, essentially. In which pretty much on my personal save I compensated for that by just building more tier 3 rigs for each resource. The most that I've done for that is mainly with uranium and iridium. And then the same with the others, but for the most part I mostly do it with uranium and iridium, since those are the resources that get used up the most. Or at least used up the most in my personal save up to now. Just let it rip. Faster vehicle and unlimited oxygen. Definitely getting somewhere. That many resources. I imagine you were also like boosting the production as well. Or is this without boosting your production? Alright, now I don't have to worry about oxygen when I'm traveling with this again. Or anymore. So now I just have to worry about my thirst and hunger. Just pretty much not enough ground control for it to not be bouncy. If only there was like a chip that makes it very heavy, so that it doesn't bounce as much when you go at full speed. Which, at this rate, I feel like that should have been a thing in the game. At least when they introduced those buyable DLCs and the new one. What if it just became if it was just very heavy duty? I'm guessing that's the tree. Lighter suspension, Or maybe like sports suspension. Well, this is just like a scrap mechanical logic. Like there's sports suspensions which are great at handling rough terrain, like this, for example. That's the logic I'm just going off by. And then there's normal suspensions that are a bit taller than that, in which they're just meant to handle like standard bumps and stuff in general. Not well, I've stopped playing that since I've already beaten the game, like about almost 2 years ago. Yeah, I've stopped playing it since there wasn't much content to play. Even though they have announced that that they're still working on it, but as it is right now, I've pretty much finished playing the game. At least for what it's worth. And then I finished streaming it before I stopped playing it altogether. Although if the devs get their shit together and actually deliver on their promise of Chapter 2, then I may see myself playing the game again. Since I have it as complete for now and not discontinued. Somewhat interested in that. Well, assuming that the devs get their shit together and actually deliver on that Chapter 2 that they're talking about, since once they do release it, it's gonna change the whole game on how you start survival mode compared to before. At least according to what they've mentioned already in their dev blogs regarding Chapter 2. And then their recent one that they just released in December. Because my god, are they that late with updating their game? Which is why they're even worse than LOM in updating their game. Well, there is creative mode in which they have updated that as of a few months ago. Which basically it's a sandbox where you just build whatever you want with unlimited blocks and stuff. It's mainly like build like a creation that you've wanted to build, and then you just have it in your world to load in or submit it to Steam Workshop, which I have seen a lot of people upload creations that they've made to the Steam Workshop. At least when I was doing that one series for Scrap Mechanic where I download people's creations and interact with them or drive them as part of like a little review series that I did for Scrap Mechanic before I discontinued it. Space. Oh, what? Scrap Mechanic? Well, those space engineers, it works a bit differently, since you'll eventually make your own space station. Whereas with Scrap Mechanic, you're pretty much on a planet building and mass-producing stuff with the items that you find and craft with. Wait, what was I doing again? Yeah, all that I'm not gonna get to for quite a while. Well, if you're still interested in scrap mechanic, well, just keep in mind that there is a survival mode, but they do plan to change that. And well, not exactly end goal in mind, because there is no end goal for survival mode in scrap mechanic right now, but most of the players, especially me, we pretty much made the warehouse more of the end goal in playing survival mode. But then we go beyond that because we want to get extra stuff. And just, I guess, build giant structures and all that. So I guess for right now, the end goal, it just depends on your preference. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. I do follow Scrapman on his YouTube, or I am subscribed to Scrapman just through my other channel, the Lego Lord Productions one. Although for the most part, at least for content that I've watched, I mainly focused a little bit on his Trailmakers stuff. Even though I'm not that interested in that game, but I like the stuff that he makes, that he does when he plays Trailmakers. Or like the challenges that he creates when he plays Trailmakers. And then, or at least for scrap mechanic in general, I'm in the process of like watching his permadeath video, or like his permadeath series of scrap mechanic, where As the name suggests, if he dies once, then that's when the series ends. Pretty much, or at least like it's basically just a hardcore version of scrap mechanic, where if you die once, that's it, that your world ends right there. Pretty much like with Minecraft's hardcore mode. And it is nice to have the oxygen just instantly go back to full again. Definitely missing all the other QOLs from my personal save. Infinite oxygen's only at the beginning. Okay, so it also does that. Okay. Also just goes back a few meters. First time properly underwater here since it flooded. I know this is supposed to be a giant hole that will let me go to the other side, so I imagine this is supposed to break. And once that breaks, it just creates a giant opening. Because I haven't really paid attention to this until I saw that there was a giant hole that opened up there in my personal save. So I guess I'm just waiting until that happens. Or I can just go around. Only this spot takes me out to the silver mine. Potential future site for that proposed Japanese space base that I've been talking about an hour ago. Once I have the materials and the blueprints to use to build that and make it happen. We'll see. All it needs is some foundation, and then I can just start building from there. Okay, here we go. There was more in here. Yeah, so I guess my iridium supply has already been fixed for now. Now we're talking. And now we have more room. I'm not gonna finish just yet. I'm just gonna get out of my save and then go back in. Well, just look at that. I'm already close. But again, no. No, I can make it. It was super alloyed then. I needed to make that. So I'm already close to making the best fuel source in the game. Or I'm close to making the best energy source in the game. And there it is. All I have to do now is build it, and I never have to worry about energy ever again. And once I boost it, never have to worry about not having energy ever again. Once I have the ability to make pulsar quartz, there's no stopping the infinite energy source. Slight stuttering that this game has. Pretty sure I'm not the only one here that noticed it. That the game has a bit of a stuttering issue when you transition or check your inventory and stuff. Or is it only just me? Yeah, all that's left to do is to build it. Okay, I definitely want to build it in a permanent location. This fusion power. I could just build it nearby my base, but they work indoors. Maybe I could just have like a dedicated power room. That could work. Then I wouldn't have to be thinking too hard on where to put them. I guess now I can say goodbye to the nuclear generators. So that's all the uranium back to me. And more explosive powder back for future use. And now the age of fusion power begins. Yeah, my personal save, I pretty much built like a giant structure where I put all my fusion power, or where I have all the fusion power machines dedicated at, rather than putting them inside my base. I just have them outside. This only just fuels more ideas for how I want to build my final version of my base when I do plan it out soon enough. Once I unlock that 3x3 base hubble. then the Japanese space home would become a reality. Okay. That's a good thing I'm also seeing the stream on my phone, because Twitch, the stream had a bit of a stroke there. Okay, that should be good now. Six by 6. In my personal save, I am in the process of getting that. It'll just take a while since I still need to terraform Selenia. But yeah, I am aware of the Superdome. And of course, it definitely would require selenium to build. But yeah, that's pretty much like the last thing I would be unlocking once I unlock the last things in the terraforming of Selenia in my personal save. Okay, why did it disconnect all of a sudden there? Whatever. Okay, I think I'm gonna just stop here and end on a high note with the building of the fusion generators. So, right. So, you're all still here with me. Don't go yet. I do plan to raid someone. And I do plan to use a raid message this time. Just gotta type it up first before I look into who's live. Okay, I got it ready, so now I just need to look for someone to raid. Okay, looks like there are some people also streaming Planet Crafter as well. Let me see. Or I can just raid Rhyme since they're playing Limbus Company right now. Yeah, let's do Rhyme. And I'll paste. And there's the raid message right there if you want to copy that. And then once I get onto their chat, I just paste that into their chat. Nice mellow stream, and I progressed even further now. If they don't call me for work tomorrow night, then I might stream again. And if I do, then maybe it might be Horizon Walker, or maybe it might be something else. We'll see. So, yeah, have a good one. Good night.